This episode is brought to you by CarterComics.com. It's your one-stop shop for all your comic needs, whether it be graded or raw. Carter Comics has got it all. All you gotta do is go to CarterComics.com, fill your card up with all their amazing comics. Use the discount code FREAKNET, FREAKNET. Save you 10% at checkout. Not only on their website, but also at their eBay account. And the link to eBay can be found on their homepage at CarterComics.com. Again, CarterComics.com is your one-stop shop for all comic needs.
What's up, everybody? I am Travis C.
And I'm Cartoon Joe.
And welcome back to another episode of this freaking show. It is the weekly podcast with a little bit of something and a whole lot of nothing. And it has been a week since I canceled cable. I feel no different.
Nice. Congratulations.
Who would have thought that not having cable and having cable feels the exact same way when you just really don't watch cable?
Right? No kidding.
You know, and honestly, and I do have to give kind of a little bit of credit to Comcast, which I typically never do, because the fact of
they don't deserve it.
100%. The feeling of being overcharged for things, absolutely ridiculous. But I will say, like, when it comes to certain customer service, they're fantastic. Whenever I get a call from customer service, it's always a headache, a monstrosity. It's always like just painful communication. But when I initiate the conversation, obviously you get the whole like, would you like a call back? And I was like, yeah, why the hell not? You know, hopefully I get somebody that understands my situation, not somebody who's trying to upcharge me for the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
I found out that if you really call in on Saturday mornings, you get the best of it. Because it always seems I always end up with like either like, and no disrespect, but a single mother who understands the struggles.
Nice.
And I say that because they tell me that stuff on these phone calls when I have them with them. Now, if it's a lie, so be it.
You're getting the Carl at the strip club treatment from the Comcast lady.
100%. If I'm trying to get a hold of somebody in the middle of the week, it's always some arrogant dude who's trying to like, hey man, I know you don't really want to get this package, but you know what? If you upgrade it, we could probably cut your bill for like the next 9 months. So I mean, I could drop your
I gotta call you back in 9 months when my bill triples.
Yeah, and that's always the expectation. It's like, listen, man, you pay $200 a month right now, but I'll tell you what, if I cut your cable, you're not going to have that bundle package anymore, and your bill is actually going to be $210 a month. But if you upgrade to this, I can get you $175 a month for the next 9 months, and I'm going to throw in HBO. Like I don't have fucking Max already. Well, there goes that Max already.
Right.
It's like, so that was my expectation going into Colin, because I wasn't dropping down my plan or anything. I was cutting cable away completely, going straight up just internet. And so I call him up and I go through the whole process. First off, I tried doing it on the app. Like I was like, it's like I want to see if I can change my plan on the app.
Yeah, the app's not gonna let you do that.
It won't. No, the app does not let you. It'll let you downgrade, your plan from one to another, but won't let you cut a plan out completely.
Right.
And then you go to the auto communication chat,
right.
and it's asking like, what are you looking to do? And I type in there, cancel cable. And it's like, do you want to cancel service? I'm like, no, because I want to keep the internet. Like, no, keeping the internet, canceling the service. Like, oh, you're looking to downgrade your cable. I'm like, no, I'm looking to cut it out completely. And then it says to call in. So call in and everything. I get to call back. Sweetest lady in the world.
Nice. I love that. I love when you get a nice lady.
Yeah, can't remember her name. I'm assuming it's like a Marjorie or a Pam, somewhere along those lines. Sweet.
Fair assumption.
Yeah. So I tell her, I'm like, listen, I need to find a way to get rid of my cable but keep my internet. And she's like, yeah, no problem. I was like, cool. She's like, can I ask you why? And I said, absolutely. I just looked at my bill. It went up another $12 from last month. It went from $250 to $262. I have 2 cable boxes. I have a decent cable package. The problem is I just don't watch TV enough.
Right.
The stuff that I do watch, I could watch highlights on it. You know, it's wrestling. I can watch highlights on it on from the internet, or they're already on streaming services I already own. There's no point in watching the White Sox right now. They're garbage unless they really do go through the sale, which this guy is currently trying to buy up stock and everything in the White Sox. Hopefully that shoves Reindorf out the door. No disrespect to him, but he's not willing to spend the money.
All disrespect to him. The team sucks because he doesn't want to spend money on it.
100%. Yeah. It's yeah. The fuck yeah.
And he wants to move the team to Nashville.
Oh yeah. No, that
Get the fuck out of here. They're the Chicago White Sox, and I understand other teams have left and whatever. Not from Chicago, but around the country. They moved to different places. No.
Yeah. Well, and that was like the weird thing too. Is like he goes down to Nashville, and he's like this would be a good place for a baseball team, and then people are like, we don't want to see them leave, and they're like, okay, cool. Chicago needs to build us a new stadium.
Stadium's fine.
It's like you're threatening to leave. They don't want you to leave. It's like, cool, buy me a new stadium.
Yeah. An abusive boyfriend or something.
Yeah, I will say, I do wish that the Bears do get their new stadium built because that thing looks fantastic. I think we talked a little bit about that. I think
the new one up here or the new one in Arlington Heights.
I would love for them to do what the I don't know what it is, the one that's over where the original one's at.
Right? Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
The one off
I think it looks great.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, because I mean, I look at the aerial view of it, and I mean, obviously, you know, based on the video package they put together on what it's going to look like and what the area's going to look like, I think that's incredible. I think that would be a huge. I think it'd be incredible to do. You know, would it be nice to move out of the city? I think travel wise, it's more convenient for people outside Chicago, but I think you need to keep it where it's at.
Yeah.
You know, especially for, you know, the I think they would like realign the train stops and everything to be more convenient. And I think best for Chicago in general, yes.
Agreed.
I mean, Chicago needs as much revenue as possible. And I think keeping not only for football games, but the venue they would build would be, you know, for like WrestleManias, which is the largest sporting event outside of football that runs annually. And now it has 2 nights. It's almost a week-long thing. They do 3 different, you know, live shows. They do a wrestling access, almost like a Comic-Con, but for wrestling. And it's all centralized in that city. The problem is for Chicago or Illinois as a whole, there's no stadium big enough to do something like that because they run it in May. They run it in end of May, mid-April, and the weather isn't nice to have it in an open field, stadium, and stuff like that. It needs to be enclosed. And I believe this new stadium for Chicago, the Bears, would be an enclosed stadium. How they had concerts set up in it, it's incredible. I hope to God they get that. Sports teams do need to realize that when they want this stuff to happen, they need to pitch in the money for it. They can't just say, it's like, we need the taxpayers. Hey, listen, you want us to do this? We need your help. It's like, no. It's like, I'm sorry, but no. It's like, that's just not how it should work. You know, it's just absolutely not. And I think that the Sox.
Sorry, I just wanted to look up just to see, just for fun.
Yeah.
How much the Bears made last year. Their revenue was $6.4 billion.
Yeah, I think they're definitely within the top 5 teams, the revenue grossing teams. No one's ever.
But they're not even good.
No,
they haven't been good since the 80s.
Absolutely not.
They went to the Super Bowl in like 2010 or something, right? They
went to the Super Bowl in 2007 against against the Colts.
All I remembered was that it was against the Colts, and I was working at the store in West Lafayette at the time.
I was working at Taco Bell at the time, and Bears played the Colts, and they lost. I also believe that they played the wrong quarterback that game. Bears are one of the highest growths. I think right now, even with the team they have right now, I think they still have like $50 million of salary cap to play with. So they got a lot. They have money. It's just when you look at every sports team in Chicago, whether it be the Hawks, even the Bulls, they're owned by Reindorf. The Hawks, Bulls, the Bears, the White Sox. The Cubs seem to be the only ones that are willing to spend money, but even then they're kind of pulling back just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But even the Cubs don't need to. Like, they're always going to have that fan base. It's always Wrigley. It's always the Cubs.
Right.
Sox are just like, they're going to be proud of their team, regardless of the team that's out there. But they're going to be like, I can watch it from my local bar. They're not going to go to the games.
Right.
And that's why ticket prices last year were announced that they were being cut this year. And the moment they did that, the moment they made that announcement, everyone knew they weren't going to go out and spend the money. Because you're not going to get like a megastar, into Chicago after announcing you're cutting the ticket prices of tickets and stuff. It's just not going to happen. Next year could be a whole different story, but it all depends on if this I forgot who this guy is, Shibuya, I think it's Shiba. Him and his brother, they own the Phoenix Suns. But if he ends up buying the White Sox, it could be a game changer for the team as a whole. And I think he was even interested in building a new stadium in that vacant lot that's in Chicago. I can't remember the name of it. There's a name to it, but it's right off the Chicago River. They did one of those videos that shows what it would look like and everything. It's beautiful. It's fantastic. And I believe it's also an enclosed baseball stadium, just like these stadiums in the Midwest are forming to be, because it sucks when you're trying to put a game on at the beginning of April and all of a sudden a snowfall happens.
Mm-hmm.
It's like in Colorado, for God knows what reason, they built a stadium. It's an open stadium. It snows. It's rare to get a game delayed or a game canceled because of the snow, but it happens, especially now when winters are seen to be pushed more and more into the beginning of the years and stuff. But yeah, it's
wild.
Yeah, so I don't watch Sox games, needless to say. And if I do, then maybe it'll motivate me to get out of the house more. Maybe I go to Game On, grab a burger, go to Fire Pit, grab some pit nachos, and just enjoy the game. So, needless to say, I canceled cable, got rid of it. My bill went from $262 to $75 a month. And not only that, I went from 800 megabyte per second cable internet. They just upgraded me to 1,000 megabyte per second. And I asked him, I was like, well, what's it going to be when you upgrade to 1,000? It's like, oh, it's still $75. I was like, so just to be clear, which I know it's not really true, my bill is going to be $75 a month with tax and fees and everything included. Yes, for the next 2 years. Yes, I do it. So I'm sure in 9 months it'll be $110 because yeah. I'm just hoping that I don't have to get hit with these sports fees and shit like that because I don't have cable anymore.
Right.
But it's just the fact that it's almost $190 a month saving on just getting rid of something I rarely ever used anyways. Bless it. And good on the lady. Again, I can't remember her name and I apologize. Good on you for being a decent person and not trying to upsell me on your stupid cell phone plan.
Nice. That's really nice. I love it. I love not being upsold.
No, and that's the thing too. It's not like, I don't know if anybody ever really calls into to a company just to get the expectation of, I want to get more of your product. I'm sure there are people like, hey, what can I save if I do bundle the subject? Like if somebody's like, okay, I'm thinking about switching cell phone plans. I already have your cable, I already have your internet. What's the deal I could get if I get their cell phone plan? And I know they want people to have the cell phone plan badly because they're almost giving away cable just for people to be on their cell phone plans and stuff like that. But I'm sure there's a reason for all that.
Oh, they want the data they can collect from your phone.
Yeah. So it's I don't have a problem with Verizon. I know people sometimes do have a problem with Verizon. I thought that my bill for Verizon went up and I almost lost my mind. But I found out, I was like, oh, because I accidentally scheduled my cell phone plan for 2 days later than my due date by accident because I wasn't paying attention. That one was on me. But I know it's time to get my phone upgraded, and I know I can do it. The problem is I need to go into the stores and do it. I prefer it. Just the last time I did it was during COVID, and I did it over the phone. And even though it was convenient, it just felt like more of a headache for me just to walk into a place and say, I'd like to upgrade this. Tell me my
Right.
options. Give me my options. So
Mhm.
and I don't need like this year's brand new phone. I'll just take the next model from what I have now. If it means I get a free phone because I'm upgrading and stuff,
Right.
It's just, I don't know.
Yeah. Weird.
But Joe, how have you been, man? What you been up to this past week? We didn't get a chance to record last week. My work kind of prevented us from being able to do that. We didn't get to do the Oscars this year, which is unfortunate because it's one of my favorite things to do. I didn't.
Sounds like it was a great show this year too. I didn't watch it at all. I don't have what is it, Paramount or Peacock or
Is it on Peacock?
whichever one it was on. I don't have it.
Did they not stream on cable?
I don't have cable.
Yeah. So okay. So
Yeah.
look at us living our life.
Mhm.
I didn't watch it. The weekend was kind of just a headache for work in general. I think I saw I know I saw an Adam Sandler bit with Conan, which was kind of funny.
Yep.
But I didn't really watch a lot of
Yeah,
the
there was like a whole song about how he wasn't going to waste time because the Oscars are already too long, which is like that's just so classic Conan. It's I really like Conan O'Brien. I think he's
I miss his
hilarious.
talk show. I miss Conan and his talk show host.
Yeah. So
I still like even with his show being like gone for as long as it's been now. I think it's been like 4 or 5 years. I still go on to like YouTube and I'll watch like highlights of the Conan show and stuff like that because it's funny. Even ones I know I've already seen, it's still funny to me.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's just been a I don't want to say it's been a quiet week. I'm still whatever I caught. I don't know if it's leftover from COVID at the beginning of the year or I got a little bit of flu from working with the preschool about a month ago. But I still got some lingering effects. And so I haven't done much of anything because I get to the end of the day and I can't breathe. And so I just kind of go to bed early and whatever. And so I did start, I got a thing. It's called an OPEP device, OPEP. I don't know what it stands for, but you breathe into it and it's supposed to like vibrate your, I don't know, your lungs or whatever to help break up mucus. And I used it last night and I'm like, it's like the first time of having productive coughs in like a month, which is awesome because it's, like the reason I'm coughing is because there's stuff in my lungs, but I'm not coughing anything up. So what's the point of coughing? Now I'm coughing stuff up, not to be gross or whatever. So that's good. I'm happy about that. Lent has started. So Ash Wednesday, we had a service. I had a good turnout for that. I only expect like 2 people. I had 7, so I was really pleased.
Do you do the ash on the forehead thing?
Yep.
I didn't see that, and maybe it's because it's me not going out into the world as much. Didn't see a lot of the Ash Wednesday.
Yeah, I didn't see as much this year, except on TV. A lot of like the mayor of Boston, I think, had it. Marco Rubio, there's a picture going around with him on it, with it on.
Is it actually? Is it actual ash?
Yeah. It's what you do is that you save the palms from Palm Sunday.
Yeah.
And then for Ash Wednesday, you save those palms all year. You let them dry out real good, and then you burn them and use those ashes as the ashes for the Ash Wednesday service.
Is it a ceremonial burn, or is it just you just gotta get them kind of burned up? Explain that to me because I honestly don't know, and now I don't know if this is the peek behind the curtain per se of how things work. But first off, I never knew if it was really ash, and I thought like maybe it was like a black chalk, whatever the hell it was, or like I didn't think or somebody maybe was out there burning like wood and just say, hey, let me grab a couple of or coal or whatever the hell,
Right? Yeah.
Give me the process. Okay, so Palm Sunday, you got the palm leaf.
Palm Sunday, you got the palms. You do the whole Palm Sunday service, whatever, and then I don't know how other churches do it. We always have extra palms left over. And also some people like to take them home and decorate their houses until the palms are dried out, and then they bring them back to me. And then I don't have much ceremony to it. Anytime I've ever seen it done in my experience, the pastor usually takes the youth group and they're like, hey, you want to set some stuff on fire? and you get together with the youth group and you burn some stuff, and it's fun. We don't have much of a youth group, so I have a special bowl that's made of metal that I like to use for different services throughout the year. That I do use it to burn stuff in during those services. So like we have the Blue Christmas service, for example, where you're feeling you're not in the Christmas spirit, right? And so you're feeling kind of down or whatever. And so I have little stars at that service that I have people write what's keeping them down. Like maybe you're feeling lonely, so you write loneliness on the star, or maybe you're mourning a spouse, so you write your spouse's name on the star. And then we take and we put them in the bowl and we burn them as an offering to God on Blue Christmas. There's something cathartic about it. It's a nice release to be able to be like, yeah, I'm literally sending my prayers to heaven in this metaphorical way. And so I used the same bowl and I loaded it up with the palms and lit them. And then to be honest with you, I didn't get the fire hot enough on its own. So I did end up adding some hand sanitizer this time around, just to get the fire hot enough to really make the carbonized, I guess, the ashes. But there's nothing special on my end. I don't know how other churches do it. I don't know how. It wouldn't surprise me if like the Catholic Church buys all the palms and then they have a bunch that don't go out to the churches, and so maybe they have I'm sure they have access to a nice crematorium that can really burn the ashes down to ashes. There's still like little twigs in mine. Didn't get hot enough, but it's nothing. It's very mundane, and I do think there's something about the mundanity that makes it beautiful. And I think there's something if you ritualized it, that could be beautiful too. But I think the whole idea of the liturgy is that you are mortal. There's nothing, to some extent, there's nothing special about you, and that's what makes you special.
Yeah.
Right? You're nothing but dust, and to dust someday you're going to return. So yeah,
that's what Ash Wednesday's about.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a reminder of one's mortality.
What's the reasoning for the whole like cross drawing on the forehead then?
It's essentially, I think there's two ways to think about it.
Yeah.
One is kind of like you ever talk to somebody about wearing a Masonic ring?
Occasionally it's brought up and stuff.
So when you wear a Masonic ring, you can wear the square and compass facing out, or you can wear it facing in, right? Kind of the same thing with the ashes. When you can't wear the ashes out or in, but in terms of thinking about what they're for, you can think about it in the same way as facing out, as an outward sign to other people of your faith and how you understand it. And I do think there's something interesting about that, a sort of like an evangelistic aspect to it, where people can see the ashes and be like, oh, what's that about? I'd like to know more about that. Why, I'm seeing all this stuff on people's heads. Yeah. And I think there's some value to that. That's one of the reasons that I put the ashes on myself on Ash Wednesday morning, before I go out in public, so that if anybody wants to know, yeah, I'll tell you. I also carry them around in my pocket in case you want some too.
Hold on. You carry the ashes in your pocket, or like a?
They're a little jar in my pocket.
I don't know. Okay, because in my mind you're scooping out ash and just planted. Okay, gotcha. So
yeah,
so
and then I'm only doing I can only do my laundry for.
Right. Okay. So there's a container that. Okay, I got you.
Yeah. I don't have just loose ashes. That's funny.
Have you ever had somebody walk up to you on the street and ask you to do that?
No.
Not yet?
No, not yet.
You hope somebody does.
I do. I did have. We forgot to do it. I met a friend for coffee on Ash Wednesday, and I asked if he wanted ashes, and he said, "Yeah, I'd like some." And we just forgot, because it's the kind of thing you do at the end of the conversation. You don't do it at the beginning,
Yeah. You'd wait for like ash to fall into its eggs and stuff.
Yeah, or it was coffee or whatever, and it's also just like there's a finality to it that feels like okay, we're done with the conversation. Let's move on with our days.
Absolutely.
And if we'd done that in the Starbucks, maybe there's a couple of people who've been like, "Hey, can I get some too while you're doing it?" But yeah, no one's asked me other than that one friend, and we forgot. Yeah, so there's the outward sign, and then the inward thing is like you can kind of feel them on your head. You can forget about them over the course of the day. A lot of people do. That's why they get all smudgy. But there's something in my mind of a it's called a memento mori. It's the remember you will die in Latin, and I think there's something really powerful about that personally for my faith. Not just my faith, but also the way I live it out, because it's our lives are so short in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
And what are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with this one wild and precious life that you have? Are you going to use it to hoard wealth? Are you going to use it to be confrontational to immigrants or hateful to trans women? Are you gonna use it to kick your gay kid out of your house? Or are you gonna be loving? Are you gonna accept people for who they are in the same way that God accepts people for who they are? With the acknowledgement that who you are is not the same thing as what you do, right? I don't want to do the hate the sin, love the sinner thing, but I do think that people are capable of redemption and change. And I think that as Christians, we have an obligation to be kind and caring and loving to help people do that, to help people change. That doesn't mean that we have to be nice to people all the time. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do is to tell someone to F off, or to point out their sins and things like that. But anyway, it's nuanced, and depending on what denomination you're in and what exactly you believe about different things is going to alter the way you treat people. But ultimately, at the end of the day, I think if you can remember to treat people the way that you want to be treated and to love people as you love yourself, knowing that you give yourself a lot of excuses for your own sins, I think that's a beautiful thing, and I think that's a powerful thing, and I think that's kind of the point. That's kind of the point of having the ashes on your head, is to remember, life is short. How are you going to treat people?
Yeah, there's and I've talked about it. Like I've been doing like a lot of like the whole like 5M streaming or not streaming, 5M role playing stuff with like Grand Theft Auto. And it's interesting when you meet people from like different parts of the country. I met a few people from like like England and Australia, so it's a really cool group of people. Some are idiots, but most of them awesome people. I guess I could consider made friends and stuff from Oregon and Florida, Kentucky. So actually a friend of mine from Kentucky, she started her own streaming. She wanted to be a streamer and stuff. And
Nice.
she just hit Twitch affiliate last night. I don't know how any of that means. I guess she's gonna be able to do she's gonna be able to start getting subscribers and stuff.
Nice.
So yeah, she's pretty cool. MW Gaming over on Discord if you guys want to go support it, which I encourage you guys to do. I think, and I've asked Pat, who does Loving Intoxicated Men, and actually a friend of mine, Will, who he's not only a streamer, he's part owner of Rocket Pro Wrestling. I asked him as a favor if they could go and follow her at least, and everything, because I do believe that content creators should help promote and build each other up and stuff. So they're able to do that. I think Will said he might actually be able to kind of mention her on his streams. I think that's a pretty cool thing. It's more than I asked, but I mean that's the kind of guy Will is. He's a pretty cool dude. But there's this one buddy. They live down in Florida, and we talk here and there, just hey, how's your day going? Hey, they're doing good, blah blah blah, and all that stuff. And in city, I bring a lot of my real personality into the city. Not 100%. I mean, I am a little bit more douchey in the city than I am in real life, but that's
Sure.
just who that character's supposed
Yeah,
to
you're
be.
role playing a character. Yeah.
Yeah. But in the messenger, it's kind of like a weird blend because in the messenger, you're still supposed to be like role playing, but like it's weird because like it's like you never really know where the lines blur and don't and all that stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
but I'm always still kind of like me and like I'm still a kind, respectful person. Like I'm not gonna go into the messenger and be a dick, you know. It's like and in the game, you know, it's gonna be like, you know, it's like, you know, like if we have a falling out, it's, you know, in the game, we'll be like, well, yeah, you definitely screwed up. Like that's on you. Like I did
Right.
nothing wrong. You know, in the messenger and stuff like that, I was like, hey, listen, people make mistakes, blah blah blah. But it's
Right.
cool because they all like they'll sit there and tell me it's like he's like, you know, it's like I really appreciate like how kind you are, how nice you are. You know, you're like generally a good person. And I just messaged them. And I was like, it sucks that you have to say that. And they didn't understand why I would say that. And they're like, what do you mean? And I was like, it's insane to me that I don't know how long they've been streaming. I don't know who they have met or whatever. Whether it be in the game or in real life, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I told them like it's insane that my simple everyday kindness is foreign to you.
Right.
I don't understand like how people and it doesn't for me personally, no disrespect to anyone out there, like your opinions and your views and everything have no effect on me. So
Right.
there's no reason for me to judge you or tell you you're right or wrong. You know, it's just if it's kind of like what you're saying, like for people to find hatred or ignorance against, you know, sexual preference or genders or whatever, it's like none of that affects me as a person. Like
Right.
how you live your life doesn't affect.
Whatever happened
Yeah.
to just like, oh, that doesn't affect me.
Yeah,
Leave
right.
it be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's decency.
Yeah.
It's like the world.
Whatever
The
happened to
world,
decency is a great question.
the world lacks decency. It's like all you gotta do is just be kind to people. Because the
Mm-hmm.
thing is, like you don't know what, and I've heard it on commercials and everywhere. Like you don't know what kind of day somebody's having.
Yeah.
Your kindness could change somebody's life. It physically could change somebody. Somebody who's on the brink of being like, "What is this all for?" could change their views and perspective with a simple, "Hey, have a good day. Hope you're doing well. Be blessed." Whatever, just a simple kind of word. And the thing is, like, because like, and Joe, you know me better than everyone else. Well, not better. Well, yeah, you probably know me pretty well. I'm not a big fan of group settings and large groups and being around people. I'm a social person, but I'm a sociable person. I'm not a social person. Like I
Yeah.
can talk to groups of people, but it's just I like being in small groups. I like privacy. I like being around like a group of friends or family. Like I'm fine like in small, like going to Comic Con and stuff like that. Like it's such an anxiety ridden thing. It's like there's just so many people around, and but
Mm-hmm.
people are nice. Yeah, I have yet to come across anyone at a C2E2 that's been an asshole to us. You know, people have
Mm-hmm.
been very nice. Even like when we're being those, you know, those people that are like, oh, good, another guy with another card. You know, people are still
Right.
nice about it. You know, they're still kind of nice about it.
Yeah.
Um,
For
but
sure.
I'm still kind to people if they come up to me and talk to me. If they, you know, I'm still civil. You know, and it's not that hard to be that way. You know, it takes more effort to be mean to somebody than it is just to be kind to somebody. Because all kindness is if you bump into somebody, sorry, excuse me. Oh, you know, you okay? You good? Instead of hey, why don't you watch where you're going? It's like not. It's like you don't need it.
Yeah.
So
Baffles me.
it in a way it kind of just breaks my heart thinking like just me being nice to somebody could be a foreign concept to somebody. And
Yeah.
I think because of that, the world needs to change, and the world just needs to be better. It's what were we told when we grew up? If you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all.
Right.
You know, it's like you know, have your opinions. You don't have to share them with people. You know, it's like just be and if the only reason you're sharing your opinion is to tell somebody else their opinion's wrong, that's worse. 100% worse.
Mm-hmm.
Like all you gotta do is just be a decent person. all it is. It's just all about decency. Just
So hard for some people for some reason.
it just really sucks because I mean, again, like it's like again, there are some people in this 5M thing where like they sit there and they say they have no life, they don't go out and do anything. And you know, hey, it doesn't make you weird, it doesn't make you a bad person. It's just some people are antisocial, some people are introverted. You know, I come across people who love being outside, love being around people. I meet people who love staying inside and just being kept to themselves in life and in this game. But if that's the life you choose to live, then just be happy about it. Now, I will say, if it bothers you that you do that, you need to change it.
Right.
You know, I say the same thing myself all the time. It's like, I want to get out. I want to do more. I just never really push or motivate myself to do it. And I should.
That's what I was. I really wanted to go. Last night there was it's a perfect event for me. It was a group of people getting together at an old historic church to sing sad karaoke, like karaoke, but songs that make us sad, as sort of a celebration of Lent, because like Lent is a little bit about the sadness of mortality, right? It's a little bit about acknowledging and lamenting things together.
So it's just like any sad songs or like a Bible.
Yeah, I think any sad song would have been fine. If I had gone, I was gonna sing "Cats in the Cradle," because that song makes me sad. Because that's like my dad and I share that. It's like that's our song, my dad and me. Because of maybe it's a song he has with other people too, but like for me, he was always busy. And now I'm always busy. And so, we'll get together, we'll have a good time. When we get together, it's great. But we're both so busy.
You know what a good song would be? I'm sure maybe you've heard it or not. Have you ever heard the song Monsters by James Blunt? Okay. So here's the thing. I love Cats in the Cradle. It's an amazing song. Monsters, very, very similar. But I get goosebumps from it.
Yeah, I'm looking at the lyrics. I can see it.
A lot of it has to do with James. Like, if you're able to listen to it without coming over our thing, listen to it while I'm talking, because I think a lot of it has to do with how James Blunt's voice is. Because every time I think of James Blunt, all I think of is sad music. Goodbye, My Lover, Monsters. They're all like breakup songs or sad songs. This song is about his dad. And if you watch the video and everything, it just adds to it. The first couple times I've heard the song, I choked up onto it because it is an empowering song. And it reminds me a lot of Cats in the Cradle or Old Man. The Old Man, Take a Look at My Life. Songs like that. Because it has that bond between a father and son. And, it's like, and, growing up, with my parents being divorced, obviously, you live through it too. It's like you only see them a few select times, and as you grow up, it's like, okay, well, I got to work. You live an hour away and stuff like that. Like we still, I still talk to my dad, like once a week and stuff like that, or a couple times a week. Like he needs me to order him something off of Amazon, or just seeing what I'm doing, making sure I didn't fall over in the house and die, But,
right.
But yeah, no. If you like Cats in the Cradle, this would be a song that if they do that karaoke thing, I consider doing this song too, because it's such a good song.
Yeah, it's great. I started listening. I'm gonna have to go back and listen again.
Yeah,
but,
honestly, I'm probably gonna listen to it when we get off here, because it's one of those songs like when I'm sitting here trying to look through our episodes, trying to look at stats and stuff, which we're still growing on YouTube. Thank you for everyone who's still subscribing over to YouTube, even though we haven't put a video out in quite some time. I'm hoping when the weather gets nicer, we can start kind of coordinating that stuff.
Yeah, nice.
I was talking with DJ or Dizzle J or J or whatever last night, because he wants to talk about, and I think I don't know if I brought it up on the show or not, but he kind of wants to do like his own kind of YouTube show through Freakin Studios. He wants to do his own thing out there. He just doesn't know what to do, and I think we came up with a cool concept, and I think we're gonna kind of work on it together. But he's going to be the host of it and everything. And I'm going to wait until we actually do it before I kind of tell you I'll tell you off air, but I don't want anyone to know until we actually do it. But I'm really excited for it. And Belly Up, the show idea I had for that. I think we're gonna look at start doing that as well too.
Nice.
And yeah, so I'm really excited for the couple ideas we do have. Speaking of YouTube and everything, again, if you haven't subscribed, FreakNet Studios over on YouTube, make sure you do so. Make sure you follow us and everything. 2 years ago, around this time, we actually released a video ranking fish sandwiches.
Yeah, I actually, I don't know if you saw a little boost in views. We were talking about fish sandwiches on Facebook, and I shared it.
Oh, awesome! Yeah, it was wild because I went and I got a fish sandwich from Wendy's the other day. On my
Nice.
way home from work. I said, I think it was I don't know if it was on Spotify ad or whatever it was, but they were talking about the new fish sandwich at Wendy's, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I guess yeah, Lent's coming around. I said that makes sense, yeah, because for some reason, you can't have meat on Friday, but you can't fish, whatever, you know. I mean, that still kind of confuses me a little bit, but
I don't totally understand it either.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a weird historical loophole situation where, like, originally you had to fast completely from food, and that was fine because it was mostly priests and monks who did that, and they don't do a lot of manual labor the same way that regular people do.
Yeah.
And then it became like, well, maybe if you still, if you have to eat because you've got a manual labor job, just try to not eat meat. And for a long time, I think a lot of people, you couldn't afford meat. Meat was very expensive, right? And then meat became pretty plentiful and became, okay, well, why don't you just try to eat fish instead? Like, I understand you want the calories from meat and whatever, and it's available, but just, just give it up. Just give it up a little bit. And part of it, the fasting is important. It's a way to learn how to empathize with people, right? So you fast not because it does anything for you as a person. You fast so that you can know what it's like to be hungry. And then when you're full again, you can go, oh, I remember what it's like to be hungry. I'm going to help that person who's hungry eat.
Mm-hmm.
That's the value. And so, whether or not eating fish helps you remember to feed someone a steak who needs it. We're kind of at the point where nobody remembers why we do these things. And so it's.
Well, I mean, it's been years since I ever heard anyone say, hey, what are you giving up for Lent?
Yeah, right.
Like, I don't think anyone really does that stuff too much anymore.
Yeah, I'm a big add things for Lent guy.
There you go.
Add a spiritual practice. Go back to church. Start reading your Bible again. Whatever you can do to deepen your spiritual life during Lent, that's what you should be doing, rather than giving things up.
It's a unique concept. I think that's interesting. Yeah, to like find a way for those 40 days, to just alter something different.
Yeah, exactly.
I agree. Yeah, and but yeah, no, I was thinking about that, like when we were getting started, I was trying to think, like, it's like, man, like, I missed out on the potchkis on Fat Tuesday. I was like, oh, I'm kind of curious on like how Ash Wednesday really works and everything, and then obviously on Fridays no meat, and I was like, wait a minute, yeah, like we did a video. I didn't realize it was 2 years ago, but it makes a lot of sense, and I think it's still.
That's the last time I had a fish sandwich at McDonald's.
Yeah. Well, I can't remember. I think Culver's was the winner. I'd have to go back and rewatch.
Oh yeah, the walleye.
Yeah. There was I think we did Popeyes too. I'd have to go back. Like I said, I have to go back and look. But like more of those, like those videos, I still would love to do. And yeah, I mean, I was talking with Jay, and we're gonna work on his show idea and probably look at releasing that in the summer.
Nice.
So I'm really excited to do. I'm really excited to work with that on him, because I know he's been kind of talking about doing something himself. And the fact that he wants to do it with Freakin Studios is kind of cool too. So that's something we'll just have to figure out and work on. But I'm really excited for that. But yeah, I mean, hey, if you guys want to go find out which the best fish sandwich is, go check out Freakin Studios. And I think it's the last video where we had the Studio Bros with the intro that had the original 3 on it. I think that was the last one. So
nice.
Yeah, and if I wanted to, I could probably go back and edit the stuff out of there, but it's fine. It's cool. Yeah. It's okay.
Oh, but anyway, so speaking of going out and doing things to try and make your life better, I really wanted to go to that sad karaoke, but I'm at, because of this lung thing, I feel like one, I don't want to be in a room with 54 people I don't know, breathing their air when I'm just now finally not as sick as I was.
Yeah.
Two, I sound fine now, but I just don't have the breath support to be in front of a group of people and sing like that late at night. So I'm working on making my lungs better so I can go do things like that. So anyway,
I like that.
you can do things to change, and it's not very expensive.
Yeah,
So
that's the too. It doesn't have to cost anything to go out and just enjoy life.
that's true too.
My thing is too, because I mean, obviously daylight savings time's coming this Sunday, so we're all gonna lose an hour of sleep. So keep that in mind. Spring forward, folks.
Yeah. Pay attention when driving tomorrow and for the next week, because the number of car crashes increase for the week after we spring forward, as though everyone on the road is drunk.
That I did not know. I did not know that.
That hour of sleep. Yep.
Yeah. So just keep in mind of that, because that's happening. But yeah, I don't know. It's my goal is to. I mean, I got a park right behind my house. The track is half a mile long, so I was like, you know what? If I get home from work, and I take Cooper around for if I do a walk around the track, that's
You'd like that.
Yeah, it's. Cooper doesn't really leave the backyard. We don't really go for walks that much, and mostly it's because there's other dogs out there, and Cooper's very night and day
Anxious.
with selected dogs. Yeah, he'll either sniff around a dog, he'll be, and it's just like there's no consistency on it. He's terrified of small dogs. He's aggressive towards aggressive dogs. Other small dogs, he gets if small dogs bark at him, he's freaking out. If large dogs are barking at him, he's barking back. If small little dogs are nice to him, he's not. It's like, dude, pick a lane, bro.
Yeah.
I need to know where you're at, so when I come across a dog, we kind of just gauge the situation.
Yep.
Also, I'm not a big fan of touching dog shit with a plastic bag. That's just not my thing. Not a big.
I'm not good at. I don't like touching dog shit at all.
Yeah. It's like
plastic bag, barehanded.
Yeah. It's like no, don't get me wrong. I'm definitely the guy who's gonna pick up dog shit. I'm not that monster who's just like, oh, you pooed in a public place. Well, leave it to me. No, I'm gonna pick it up. But it's just
I'm just fertilizing the turf.
Yeah, it's like, absolutely not. Like, yeah, no.
Monsters.
If you're that kind of person, don't walk your dog.
Yeah,
not one bit. Not one bit whatsoever.
Bird.
But Joe, what are you freaking thinking about?
Am I freaking thinking about? Yeah. I'm really excited by this lung thing I found, because I was very skeptical of it. I've only used it once, but it was like for $15 on Amazon, and I got it delivered same day. The fact, I know it's gross, and I hate that I keep talking about it, but like, I'm so happy to be coughing stuff up instead of just having. I sound like a broken squeaky toy when I've been coughing lately, and I'm just coughing like crazy hard and sounding like a broken squeaky toy is the most miserable experience. And the fact that now I'm coughing and there's stuff coming up, and like every once in a while I can hear in my voice something getting caught in my throat. I'm so happy, because it means that maybe I'm going to get better finally. And like, that's been, we talked at the end of last year, beginning of this year, about how we wanted to exercise more this year. I haven't been able to exercise this whole year because I haven't been able to breathe, so, and I've been like waiting to get better on breathing so that I can exercise. And then it gets to the point where it's like, well, maybe if I start exercising, I'll cough stuff up. But I'm afraid to exercise because, like, walking up the stairs every once in a while, I got to sit down because I'm going to fall over, So I'm so excited that maybe I'm going to finally start getting better. Yeah, I don't know. I guess that's what it is.
Yeah, no, and it's been like, I mean, a majority of the reason I haven't found success in weight loss so far this year is because of laziness. It's 100% laziness. And I kicked off the year going good and everything, and then I just get lazy, and that's a mental thing I got to work on myself. It was actually a topic I wanted to talk about on the show today, but it's a lengthy topic, so we'll move it on to next week.
Yeah, sounds good.
But it's the breathing thing. And I know it has a lot to do with the weight that I'm carrying and everything, but I also know that it's the years of smoking. Even though I'm going on May will be a year, so I'm
Yep.
I'm 2 months shy of a year of not smoking, but it's still the years of smoking. It's the asthmatic bronchitis. It's it's the COVID
Yeah.
that I had years ago that who knows if lungs will ever regenerate and be normal again, whatever it is.
Right.
There's just so many factors. It's like I can at least cut the weight down, and that can hopefully alleviate some of the breathing errors. I'm just hoping I just want to get to a point where I could breathe well enough to get through like the DDP yoga workouts.
Word.
And I'm sure like like the ones that are like what, like 15 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
even 30 minutes aren't bad. Once you start doing like the hour 45-minute ones, like those were kind of like okay,
Yeah.
just
I've been afraid to even try the Diamond Dozen.
right. But that's one of the beautiful things too is like the whole point of DDP yoga is to make it work for you.
Right.
So
True.
like it's probably like one of those things where it's like, you know what? Okay, so Diamond doesn't take. It says it takes about an hour to do. I have like the time written down of it. It takes an hour to do. You know what? If it takes me an hour 25 because I have to take a break in between, I think that's okay.
I didn't even think about taking a break. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah,
that's not a bad idea.
I mean, it's like, but that's what they do. It's like in my mind, it's like, well, crap. If I can't get through it, then why even do it? But that's not how it works. Like what DDP yoga is like. You're always starting from a set position and then going. It's all about resistance training. It's like, okay, so you're always increasing your workout. You're not working from an increased heart rate. You're building your heart rate up. So I'm just like, I can do that stuff. Like that. It's like it's the important thing is all about. And I told my friend Michelle that, and what I wanted to talk about this week, we'll talk about next week, is a lack of self-love. That's my problem. That is my problem. I can honestly admit that I don't love myself enough to change what I'm messing up. And I want to talk about that. I do want to talk about that next week. But as far as this week, what I'm freaking thinking about.
Yeah, what are you freaking thinking about? Tell me.
Gosh, I'm gonna narrow it down to one thing though. I think there's two, but I'm gonna narrow it down to one thing. I'm really excited for my friend Macy and her Twitch streaming stuff.
Nice.
The one thing that sucked about the journey of it all, first off, I always wanted to encourage her to do it, and she's doing it. Couldn't be prouder. I'm glad that she's doing it. But what sucks is the city that we met in and hung out in and stuff like that. In order for you to stream your content in there, you have to get permission from the owner in order to do it. Because of that, because she wants to grow and everything, she kind of took a break, went to a different city, and is trying to stream from over there. Right now, she streams Red Dead Redemption and some. I can't remember the name of the game, but it's like Dystorphia. Basically, it's like it's like a ghost hunting game, like viewed from like first person or whatever through the eyes of the actual character, and you're into it with like equipment and trying to find ghosts and stuff before they kill you, or you're trying to classify the ghost before they kill you. It's a horrific game. Like it terrifies me. It is absolutely not. But the fact that like we still talk and we still like kind of like keep in communications. Even though we don't play in the city anymore, we still like constantly talk through Discord and all that stuff. And like it's just cool to how you kind of help encourage her to move forward in it, because this is a way to kind of supplement her income and also get her out of her zone of like shyness. I'd say shyness, because she is a really cool person. She has really good role play. She's very personable. She's very funny. She's a sweetheart, and I think the world deserves to see more people like that. So I think once she keeps growing and everything, and I do firmly believe, in my opinion, she needs to use social media as a way to promote her stuff. I think she needs to work on that, but obviously she's gonna do it her own way.
Me too. Don't we all?
Yeah.
I wish I could be a shameless self-promoter. I'm horrible about it.
And I tell people that all the time. It's like, dude, we got Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and I rarely ever use it. The fact that
that's what literally the only reason I still have Facebook is to promote the church. Don't ever use it.
Yeah, I spend more time promoting like I'm on JFW's Facebook page more than I'm on any other Facebook page. But that's just because like we're trying to build relationships with wrestling promotions, which is actually kind of going pretty well. But it's just like I need somebody who's going to run social media for Freakin Studios as a whole. That's the thing.
For the sake of maybe drumming up business for her, is it Obsidio or Obsidio? Does that sound familiar?
Her
the game
streaming?
she plays, the horror one. Yeah.
I can actually crap. Hold on a second. I can actually tell you because I do. Yeah, because I mean I follow her on MW Gaming on Discord. Obviously, it's called Phasmophobia.
Oh, okay, gotcha. That was my second guess.
PHASMOFOBIA, Phasmophobia or whatever.
Determine the identity of spirits before joining them in death.
Yeah, it's horrifying. It's unique to watch people do it. Yeah, it's unique to watch people do it, but it's like, I mean, basically, if you haven't seen it, Joey, you might enjoy it. I don't know.
I probably would. I like horror games.
Yeah, but basically, there's this big trailer outside this building, this home or whatever, has a bunch of like ghost hunting equipment in it. You can only carry a few select things in there. You go into the house and you got to use it. Now, certain actions will detail what kind of ghoul or ghost or whatever the hell it is. And then as soon as you get that much, you got to go out and get the next thing. And you can do it with teams and all that stuff, but you got to be careful because once it gets you and kills you, you're dead. Like that, it's wild. It's a cool thing. I don't know if I'd ever play it because if I did, I'd probably lose my shit doing it. Plus she like does this stuff at like midnight, 1 a.m, and the witching hour is right around the corner, and hell's no. But I'm just really excited for her. You know, I'm really excited because like I said, she just hit her affiliate goals and everything, so she's gonna be able to start growing subscribers and everything. And I want good things to happen for good people, and she's definitely that person. So so again, if you guys are out there and you do want to promote, you know, up and coming content creators, MW Gaming on Discord. I believe her Twitch is Macy Pierce 14. But go to MW Gaming. I'll follow her on Discord and everything on there, and then you'll see when she's streaming and all that stuff. So I'm gonna use my freaking thinking for that for this week. So
nice, dope.
Hey Joe.
Yeah.
Every week our listeners catch Cartoon Joe here on this freaking show. But if an hour of Cartoon Joe just isn't enough for our listeners, where can they go?
If you need more Cartoon Joe, you can find me over at the Geekcast Live podcast at violentpress.com. You can also find us on Facebook, iTunes, Blue Sky, and Spotify by searching Geekcast Live.
Perfect. Guys, make sure you follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, just by searching This Freaking Show. Continue to listen to us wherever you pick up your podcast. Just subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know the shows get dropped. If you want to watch the podcast, you can do so over at the Freakin Studios YouTube channel. That's where we drop all of our videos that are part of Freakin Studios. And again, hopefully once the weather gets nicer, you'll start seeing more of me and Cartoon Joe going out there and eating some things. Who knows, maybe grabbing a drink at a local dive bar.
Heck yeah.
So, but guys, that's all I got. As always, I'm Travis C.
And I'm Cartoon Joe.
And thank you for listening to another episode of This Freaking Show. I'm out.